Hi everybody, today we're going to make a gorgeous silver and red cord shell necklace, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So first of all, what you need is some newspaper to protect your table. You need tin foil, this silver paper, which is actually lovely stuff. I've decided to paint my piece of string red, so I've got some red paint and I've got my piece of string. I've got some scissors, I've got my glue and my glue pot and a paintbrush, and I think that's all I need. Oh, and my shells, of course. Now I've chosen to use mussel shells because I really like eating mussels, but you could use any shells that you can find. If you go to the beach for the day, you could collect some shells from the beach, or you may have a collection that you've collected up from holidays that you've had in the past. So it can be any sort of shells you want. So maybe if I was using these, for example, I might put the big one in the middle and the smaller ones on each side. But for my mussels, for my mussel shells, I've decided to go from small in the middle to larger on the outside. I don't know why, I just decided I'd do that. So if you take your shell, and then what you need to do is you need to tear or cut a piece of silver paper that's a bit bigger than your shell. And you wrap your shell up in the silver paper. Can you see that? Just like that. And then the very, very satisfying bit is when you have to, I would say, burnish or just sort of fit the silver paper around your shell so it takes on the form of the shell. And I'm going to use the end of my paintbrush to do that. And you don't need to press too hard, otherwise you'll tear the silver paper. You just rub it all the way round until it fits and looks like that. So the next job is to knot your piece of string, because your shells are going to be glued onto this piece of string. So I would knot my piece of string, and I'm going to put the knots in about that far apart because I think that will look quite nice. So I'm just going to make 8 knots in my string. So I've got another 5 knots to tie, and then I shall paint it red. When I've painted it red, I'm going to glue the shells on where the knots are, so that gives the shell something to stick onto. So I just put a blob of my PVA glue onto the knot and then stick my shell onto it and leave it to dry. And there you have it, a beautiful silver shell necklace. I hope you enjoy making one for yourselves. As I say, you don't have to use mussel shells. Amaze us with what you send in, so please send in photos of what you've done, because we really, really love to see your photos and we want to put them up in our virtual gallery.